Hey, welcome to Clarity Tarot. Today's question is going to be, what do you need to know about your physical health? So I am not a doctor, and this is not a substitute for getting medical support or medical care, but I thought it'd be good to check in with what Spirit wants us to know about what's going on with us physically. So we have three piles today. The Hermit is pile 1, the Temperance card is pile 2, and pile 3 is the Four of Wands. So take a moment and tap into which reading is for you, and I'll see you at your pile. The timestamps will be in the description box. See you there. Hey, pile 1, thanks for being here. We are looking at your physical health and what Spirit wants you to know. And let's see what cards you have. We have the Hermit, the Hierophant, and the Five of Pentacles. So the first thing that's coming through is that Spirit wants you to pay attention to how it impacts you to either to work from home or the amount of time you spend on the computer inside, working late hours. Could be one or all of these things. I'm even hearing like, is it EMFs, like the radiation that comes from all of our technology that we use? There's some detrimental impact here to your health that if you pay attention to how you feel, you will notice. And Spirit's just wanting to bring this to your attention, not necessarily calling for any particular change, but just asking you to see the cause and effect of how those things influence how you feel, what you want to do in a given day, how motivated you are, how well you sleep, on and on. There's also something about plants. Integrating more greenery into your space will have a huge impact. I'm drawn to how this person has the plants hanging up high above the window. And it's like I almost want them to just bring those plants down a little bit, like into the person's line of sight, having a little plant friend here with you. Maybe I should even like have a plant for this reading. Actually, you know what? Hang on one second. Thank you for waiting. I just loved that message so much. I had to go get a little guy who's on my front porch and bring him inside for your reading, a little cactus. So, okay. So just integrating plants and greenery more into your life, into your world, Spirit's just wanting you to know that that's going to have a really big impact just on how you feel. What else about your physical health? I'm drawn to the wedding rings that are right here. There's something about the person that you're married to or partnered to that has a huge impact on your physical well-being. This could go a few ways. First, I'm going to talk about those of you out there that are watching that are not partnered. So if you're not partnered, there's some way that impacts your physical health. Now, so for some of you, that may be when you're single, you just like don't take care of yourself the same way. You don't, if nobody's around to see you, maybe you don't eat regularly, maybe you don't exercise or even like shower or groom yourself like in a way that would show that you love yourself. It's just hard for you to do that just for you when there's nobody that you're partnered with. That's for some of you. And for others of you, what Spirit's drawing attention to is how it has a positive impact on you not to be partnered. So like when you're able just to focus on yourself, then you do a better job prioritizing your needs. So an example of this might be, I live just with my partner and he was traveling for a few days this week. And so while he was gone, like normally I cook 2 or 3 like fresh meals a day with lots of vegetables, protein sources, mostly vegetarian most days of the week. And I grind my own wheat. I don't know. I take it seriously to eat like whole and healthy foods. And when he was gone for 3 days, I still did that. But basically what I did is I made a kale salad the first day, and then I ate it for like 4 days in a row. I would eat like, standing up, eating out of the pan in the kitchen while watching something on my phone, like totally distracted. None of this is like the worst thing in the world, but I definitely noticed how it impacted me not to take the extra steps to make something nourishing on all levels. So that would be an example of how, like, when I'm alone, I kind of let everything go. I let the standards go, I guess, because I'm not trying to also please somebody else. But there's some of you out there where it has the opposite effect. Like when you're alone, you really take the extra space to nurture yourself. So whichever way it goes for you, Spirit's wanting to just draw your attention to that. Also, so for those of you that are partnered, for some of you, again, there's two groups. There's some of you where your partner has a really detrimental impact on your physical wellness, and you would already know this. If this message is for you, this would not be a surprise to you. This would be like, maybe you want to get healthy, get more sun, get more exercise, eat better, reduce the chemicals in your household or whatever, but your partner is actively resisting that, or thinks it doesn't matter, or thinks it's silly that you spend any attention on that, or always wants to go out and eat fast food, or who knows what. So that's for some of you. And then there's another group where it's like your person is a positive influence on you and has a big impact on your physical health. So, okay, so that's lots of scenarios, 4 different scenarios there for how you may resonate with this message. But the point of this coming through in your reading is Spirit is just wanting you to notice that impact, and like how susceptible you are to environment and how you set the stage for yourself. So this would be something like, if you know that your partner's a very positive influence on you, like how can you increase that if you want to be even healthier? Like how can you invite more of that influence? Maybe ask them to initiate some new exercise experiences for you together, or some new health seminars, things like that. Or there might even be a few of you who you have a partner or someone that you know that's in the medical field, like a nurse or a doctor, and perhaps you haven't asked them as many questions as you would want to for fear of being that annoying person that's like, let me take advantage of all your knowledge for free. But there's an encouragement here for you to recognize that person as a resource and not let your own like embarrassment hold you back from asking for somebody else's support. Okay, and then physical health with the 5 of Pentacles. So 5 of Pentacles is often about scarcity in one way or another. The way I'm interpreting this card, though, is based on the images, is what's really coming through. And so we have these people here that are walking in the rain with umbrellas. They're walking in front of a church. There's actually a person here in a wheelchair as well. And so I'm getting a couple messages with this. One is that your spiritual health is very connected to your physical health. So, and I really truly do believe that it's all connected, like emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. We're trying to zero in on physical today, but it's kind of hard to separate those. But there's something about you in particular where when you're doing better spiritually, it's just easy for you to do all the things you know you want to do and that you truly prefer to do for your physical health. Does it make sense? So like, instead of focusing on like, I need to eat right and exercise and see my psychiatrist and go to that doctor and take my pills every day and take my vitamins, whatever your physical health challenges are, get more movement, get more greenery, get outside more. You won't even have to make yourself do those things if you prioritize your spiritual needs instead. So there's something about you that, like, let's say if you're a churchgoer, just because there's a church in this card here, when you go to church, it actually inspires you to put all those things into play anyway by itself. So like all you would have to focus on would be that one act of going to church. Now, that's not going to apply to everybody, but there's some spiritual focus or spiritual act that if you're to take is going to help everything physically fall into place for you. I want to ask for clarification on that because I feel like some of you may want to know what more about exactly what that action might be. So can you help us out here, Spirit, with pile 1? This 5 of Pentacles. What's the spiritual action that you would be inspiring or calling or inviting them to do? We have the Towers and the Queen of Wands with the Death card in reverse. What is happening here? This is intense with the 9 of Cups. You know what I'm getting? It's almost like actually going after the things spiritually that make sense to you. Like let's say you were a more traditional person of faith or religion in the past, but now maybe you're a little witchier, maybe you like to look at tarot readings, obviously you're here. Maybe you've gone a little bit more esoteric and offbeat, but you still try to participate in some of the things that were supported for you before. The action that Spirit's asking you to take is take those weird offbeat paths that you've found. And even if you haven't found exactly what you want or what feels right for you, keep trying, keep exploring, keep following your intuition and just where the wind takes you that day with the Queen of Wands. For me, this is very much about leaving no stone unturned, exploring everything and everywhere, and looking for that faith expression that best suits you and is most supportive for you. It's really interesting, pile 1. And that's related to your physical health. I mean, it would make sense because kind of what I was getting about what Spirit wants you to know about your physical health is like there's a sense of stagnation. There's a sense of like this, almost like you're a pond, not a swamp, not that bad, but like a pond, like still water. And what would serve you better is for there to be more activity. So, and more things stimulating you from the outside versus keeping you contained. And if you think about a person who has, let's say, like a more expansive or expressive spirituality and they're going to a very traditional church, what energy does that inspire that person to do? Well, it's kind of like it's a shrinking, it's a containing, it's a turning inward. It's energy in and condensing versus energy out and expanding. And your spirituality in particular, I think, is what helps you just with like your approach to life generally. And the more expansive it is, the better. So interesting, pile 1. I really love this reading for you. Let me know what you thought. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Hey, pile 2, if you picked the Temperance card, let's take a look at what cards you have. Thank you for being here. We have Temperance, the 5 of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. And you may notice I brought my little plant friend in here. That was part of pile 1's reading, was encouragement to get more greenery. And I was like, hey, that's a great idea. I could integrate some more plants in my life. So this guy's hanging out with me. So let's see, for your physical body, and your physical health, what does Spirit want you to know? For a few of you, I'm literally getting that your physical health, there's something related here to drinking for you. So that could be drinking alcohol, but it could be anything that you drink. Maybe you don't drink enough water. Maybe you drink too much water. Maybe you drink too much alcohol. Maybe you drink 15 Diet Cokes a day. Maybe you drink a lot of stevia sweetener. Maybe you drink a lot of milk and your body just isn't too happy with that. Or perhaps you're over caffeinated, too much tea or coffee. I am getting that this is like an excess, since temperance is about balance. Although for a slight few of you, it could be that like you're not drinking enough water, for example. But for most of you, it's like there's too much of something that you're ingesting that's liquid. And I'm getting like a really sheepish feeling coming from you, pile two. It's like, I know. I think you know this already, and maybe you just haven't known how to cut back in a way that works for you. What Spirit's coming through to let you know is like, hey, you just asked about your physical health. I'm not telling you to change anything. I'm not shaming you for your 15 Diet Cokes a day. I'm not saying anything other than if you want to know what impacts your health, like this is a big thing. So I think that's all that is wanting to be known by you right now, pile two, is just that it does have an impact. And I'm hearing that there will come a time for you to shift your patterns with whatever this beverage is, and you can trust that that's going to naturally fall into place at the right time. You don't have to force it. Yeah. I can definitely relate to this. There have been times in my life where I've been like kind of concerned about how much I'm drinking, whether it's been alcohol or caffeine or just different times in my life. I've had concern about one or the other. And one time in particular, I'm really not wanting to tell this story because it's okay. I'm a little triggered right now, I just have to say, because the story I'm about to tell is about alcohol, and I know for some people, like people truly have an addiction or alcoholism, and so like I don't want what I'm saying to be misleading, but I'm just gonna trust that I'm saying it for a reason, and this is where I remind you just to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And this is one experience and not medical advice. Okay, so there was a time in my life, probably 3 or 4 years ago, where I was drinking what I would consider a lot. Sometimes 2 or 3 drinks a day, sometimes a lot more than that. And it was really bothering me that I was having this behavior, and I couldn't figure out, like, why am I doing this? I don't feel like I'm trying to avoid my life. It feels like my body is wanting this, and I don't understand what that's about. And fast forward a few months, and I actually realized through a routine doctor appointment that my blood pressure was actually quite high, which is something that runs in my family, and it just had never like shown up for me before then. I think I was like 38 or something at the time, and it helped me trust myself so much more because I realized that I'd been trying to moderate my blood pressure with this depressant of alcohol. So like once I was on blood pressure medication and I understood like what was happening to my body and why and how to shift things around, like I wasn't reaching for a drink anymore. I didn't go through withdrawals. I really just started this medication and then was able to make some different lifestyle changes and to be able to reduce my blood pressure and now not be on medication. But anyway, the point of my story is at that time, I was so worried and disturbed by how much I was drinking. And I was just constantly gaslighting myself, like back and forth, like, oh, I'm an alcoholic. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, it's fine. Oh, no, it's definitely not fine. Like, this is definitely too much. And the message I kept getting, like spiritually, was to trust myself, that everything was going to be okay, to not worry about it so much. Obviously, it's not good for you to be doing that, but it's all going to make sense soon. And so then those few months later, when I found out about the blood pressure thing, that really clicked everything into place. And I realized that I'd been self-medicating the only way that I knew how. And now that I understand how better to take care of myself, I don't have to do that. And I don't actually have like the pull to do it for that reason. So That may relate to a few of you. For one person out there, you might want to get your blood pressure checked if you've never had that checked, to see if that could be contributing to anything you're dealing with. But for the rest of you, like whatever your consumption patterns are with this substance, you can trust that you will know when the right time is to set that down or to make different choices, and everything is going to be okay. Spirit, anything else about that? So Spirit's just telling me, good job for saying that story even when I didn't want to. I have to say, I don't know. I find it so interesting to do these readings, and also it's almost always triggering for me also. So I just want you all to know that I'm really growing from this as well. Okay, moving on. So 5 of Swords, in terms of your physical body. This is actually coming through as like an encouragement, or like a attaboy, attagirl, like you go, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. You're prioritizing yourself above anyone or anything else. You're being selfish in the best possible sense, and Spirit sees this and is just really proud of you for doing that. There's some aspect of this that's been really difficult for you in the past, and so the fact that you're doing it now is a really big deal. Pile 2. What else is coming through about this? There's some aspect of how you're managing your physical health right now that is misguided. Now, this is not coming through as a big deal, as like something to be majorly concerned about. It could be something as small as, I think that my vitamin C is low, so I'm going to take a bunch of vitamin C, but which turns out to give you like an over and abundance of vitamin C, which by the way can cause some issues, especially for us lady folk, if you want to Google that and learn about that. But there's some way that you're either self-treating, self-medicating, or maybe even advice that was given to you by a doctor that's like pointing you in the wrong direction somehow. Now, this is not coming through to say like don't trust your medical professionals. Like, I'm getting very clearly that like your doctor is trustworthy. It's not about that. It's just some way that you've applied the information that isn't great. So let me think of an example of this. Okay, so the example that's coming to mind is actually with like urinary tract infections, which perhaps a doctor diagnosed you with one of those and was sharing with you, like give you an antibiotic and talk to you about prevention. And maybe you also then went and like Googled all about it and decided to start drinking cranberry juice or something, which by the way is like for most people the opposite of what helps you with that because of all the extra sugar. There's a bunch of complicating, and the vitamin C, there's a bunch of issues with it. But anyway, there's something like that where like you got some correct information, but then some other research or conversations you did about it got in there and was not as accurate and has just either been confusing or taking you down the wrong path. Again, I'm not seeing this as like any huge problem, but just think of like the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of something you've been trying that you're not sure it's really working. Spirit's just letting you know, like, pay attention to that voice, pay attention to that noticing that like, I've been trying to do this to address this problem and it doesn't seem to be having the impact I want. That's all you need to know in order to try something different with the Ace of Pentacles. Like, this isn't working. So you don't actually have to understand exactly why or what's wrong with the approach that you're taking. All you need to know is that it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, you can't expect to get a better result in the future when in the past you haven't had a good result. So the encouragement here is if you want to try something different, or if you want a different result, try something different. Now, what else about that, Spirit? So what I'm getting is that like there's some frustration for you about this, whatever intervention this is that you've been trying, and Spirit's just saying like save yourself that frustration. Like, yeah, it's frustrating to think that you're doing the right thing and really trying to help yourself and it's not actually helping yourself that much. So just notice if that's happening and cut your losses. Like, okay, I tried this thing, it didn't work. Like, there's no value in continuing to force yourself to do that thing if you're not noticing any impact. And that includes if it's an intervention that like you paid for in some way. Like maybe there's a particular exercise, you had to get some equipment, and you're like, well, I decided to try this and I paid for the equipment, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep doing it forever and ever, even though it doesn't seem to be working. Spirit's saying to like release yourself from that. Like, yeah, you paid for something, big deal. It's okay to throw away half a bottle of vitamins. It's okay to sell at a loss some piece of equipment that you bought that didn't turn out to be the best thing. Oh my goodness, you know what's coming to mind? What was that thing called? When I was in high school, I was really excited about this piece of fitness equipment that promised that you'd get like 6-pack abs. What was that thing? Ab Master, something like that? I don't know. It was this machine that you'd like hold against your stomach and it would make your stomach muscles like work. Ab Blaster? I don't even know. Anyway, I mean, I wasn't that consistent with it. It was pretty funny anyway, because I mean, I was in the best shape of my life back then, playing all the sports and whatever. But I really wanted like that whole 6-pack ab experience. And I think it took me probably 10 years after I had stopped even using that thing to actually sell it or get rid of it or tell myself the truth that, you know, like this doesn't actually work for me. So there's something here like that for you. And then with the Ace of Pentacles, there's encouragement to like keep trying, try something new, find out what works for you. If something isn't working, it's not because you haven't given it enough time to work, which is funny, right? Because like usually that is how it goes. I feel like you need to give any intervention that you're attempting enough time and enough like critical mass to have an impact. But there is something that you're doing here that you're frustrated with that's just not going to work, and it's okay to cut your losses. And you would know that if that's your message. So what else for pile 2 do they need to know about their physical body, Spirit? Three of Swords. The Lovers, and the Two of Swords. With the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So if you've gone through any kind of heartbreak recently, and by recently I mean like the last 5 years, something major, that does impact your physicality. So if you've been frustrated with yourself for not recovering the way that you would want yourself to, and you're noticing some physical impact based on what you've been through relationally, Spirit's just wanting to let you know, like, again, like nothing to fix here, nothing wrong with you, but just give yourself some grace and compassion. Like you went through a lot emotionally that does impact your cells. It impacts your physicality, your body. And, you know, connecting sensually with somebody else romantically, having your bodies actually be joined, like that's a huge transfer of energy that has an impact also. And it takes time for your whole system to like recalibrate after that. Where was I reading about this? Okay, so someone fact check me, or at least at a minimum, don't hold me to exactly these details I'm about to share, because I don't know exactly how accurate my memory is. But I read this article about basically how long it takes to get someone out of your system once you've been intimate with them physically. And for men, it was something like a month or so. And for females, it was anywhere from 6 to 9 months. I don't actually remember what that was based on. But I thought that was really interesting. It might be something you want to look into further if you're curious about that and it might fit your situation. But if you're frustrated with how long it's taking, I guess, your body to recalibrate after whatever this is that you went through, Spirit's just wanting to let you know that that's all normal and everything's okay. One other application I'm thinking with the overconsumption here, you know, when we lose someone important to us or if we go through a breakup or a really hard time, often we reach for something outside of ourselves to like comfort us. And some of that's, you know, just like very natural and human. Like I reach for a chocolate cake because I can't be with my favorite person right now. And that's exaggerated after a breakup. So if you are having a time where like you're feeling a little bit off the rails with some of your habits, again with the beverages, coming back to the temperance card, that's especially to be expected after a major event or loss or trauma like this. Anything else, Spirit, for pile 2, their physical body? Your physical body loves you and is on your side and wants you to know that like I'm getting just like a lot of gratitude coming through from your body. It's interesting that your body's wanting to talk to you. I didn't get that in pile 1. But it's like your body wants to say, thank you for getting us out of that situation. I love you. I know you don't always understand me and the symptoms that I'm giving you. We'll figure it out together. I'm just doing my best. I know you're doing your best. And nothing that I'm coming through with is like a criticism of you. So like if sometimes you feel reactive to symptoms you're experiencing, whether it could be anything, headaches, infections, behaviors like too many Diet Cokes, whatever. Your body is saying like, I'm just trying to work it out and thank you for being patient with me. And I'm glad that we have some time to spend just you and I, and everything's going to be okay. All right, pile 2, that was your reading. I hope it resonated for you. Leave me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Hey, pile 3, if you chose the 4 of Wands, this will be your reading. Let's see what cards you have. We have 4 of Wands, the Judgment card, the Page of Cups, and 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Here we go. Let's make sure you can see all these. I have my little plant friend here with me. Pile 1, their reading was about like, you need more greenery. And I was thinking, hey, I think I need more greenery. I'm going to get a little plant friend for the rest of this reading. So, okay. What Spirit wants you to know about your physical health? Everything's good. Everything's okay. You've made really healthy choices and it shows. You've surrounded yourself with people that are like a positive community. You've spent time either with kids or like with your inner children. And the best is yet to come with the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. If you've been kind of disturbed lately about like, oh, I'm getting older, I'm getting this or that problem, what Spirit wants you to know about your physical body is you're going to feel better in your own skin, not just in terms of like self-esteem and self-concept, but literally like your physicality and your health. You're going to feel better in the future than you do now. So some of us, I mean, I sometimes can feel this way that like, you know, the worst is yet to come. Cheer up, the worst is yet to come. But that's just, yeah, not happening. So this is, if you have been struggling with a long illness, or for some I'm even hearing like cancer or surgery or some kind of major setback that you've experienced, Spirit wants you to know that your body is recovering. Your body is going to be better than ever in the future. This is not like the best you can expect. You're only going to feel and do better and better and better as time goes on and as you understand more about what's needed. There's something really important about your community. So this is kind of weird because when I think physical health, I think my sleep patterns, what am I eating, drinking, what's my diet, including like what I watch, what I listen to, what's my self-talk, what's in my environment, are there toxins or molds or chemicals I'm exposed to a lot, how much time am I getting outside? Like those are the things I think about when I think about health. And like if I have a medical condition, is it managed with medication or seeing doctors or therapists or whatever? But what this is saying is that your physical health is related most to the people you're around and not just whoever you live with, but like your extended family. So this is like your friends, your chosen family, or your family. That's what impacts your physical health the most. I'm even hearing for a few of you that this is like especially who you live with, particularly if you live with animals. It's a very specific message. So like if you live at home alone with 3 cats or something, this message is coming through to let you know that that has a really positive impact on your health. And it's really important that you spend as much time at home with those cats as possible. So if you felt that way in the past but just kind of been a little sheepish about it, maybe like, I don't know why I feel like I need to be home with my cats all the time. Spirit's saying, no, that's a real thing. It's very important. And not just like for you taking care of them, for them to take care of you. That's so sweet. Tell me about your cats, if that's you, in pile 3. Let's see what else here. Your physical health. Yeah, I'm just getting like renewal positivity for this pile. Almost like you're being reborn in some way. Like what is that? Your cells regenerate. Is it every 7 years? Like you have a totally new gut, a totally new body. I think it's 7 years. And there's something about this current body that you're in that's radically different from the last period of time in a really good way. I think that's your message. I mean, this is way shorter than the other piles, but I don't want to force it. Spirit, what else should they know about their physical health? Let's see if there's anything else. Everything's good. The best is yet to come. Your physical health is mightily impacted by your community and those that are around you, particularly your extended community and like where you live, the city you live in, your literal house or apartment. Ace of Wands. What else for pile 3? The Emperor in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse, the Star in reverse. There's nothing for you to control here. There's nothing for you to do here. Really, now is the time for you to live as freely as possible. The majority of the major physical health lessons that you've needed to learn in your life are now behind you. You've learned those. They've happened. And I don't know why this is coming through, but since it's not related to the reading. But for some of you, if there's a person in your past, someone really difficult who maybe you were in love with, things ended badly, you still feel attached to them, but like the love has kind of gone dry, but you're still hoping for their return for some reason. That situation is not going to come back around. You learned what you needed to. I actually got a very similar message in one of the piles in the last reading. But for whatever reason, like you just need to know this. Like that person that you learned all those really hard lessons with, that you fell so hard for, that you thought, like, this is my person, this is it. I'm going to do this be with them forever, and I'll try as hard as I need to. Even though it feels anticlimactic to you, the way that this has completed or ended, like this is the end. It's not going to resurface. It's not going to come back around. Well, I'm hearing for some of you, there might be like a 5 to 10% resurgence. It's gonna, that's nice. The phrase I'm hearing is like a fart in the wind. Like it's gonna be, even if this person does resurface, it's gonna be such a non-starter, such like a tiny thing that it'll be a total blip. So, whatever the case, you just need to know that you don't need to be thinking about that situation anymore. It's integrated into the fabric of your being. What you needed to know, what you needed to experience has already happened. And this is, starting now, this is the time of your life, pile 3. Your best body is ahead of you. Your vitality, your connection to the world and to life, it's all starting now. How cool, pile 3. I'm really happy for you. It's wonderful. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you'd like. I have private readings open, and through June 15th, they are buy one, get one free if anyone's into that. And thanks so much for coming by. I will see you next time.